Hello and welcome to another one of D's ADD videos. Today we're going to be looking at solving absolute value problems, whether they have equal signs or inequalities. When dealing with the absolute value and you see an equal sign, what you're going to do is you're going to set it equal to the positive and the negative of the number that it's equal to. So, for example, if you have an absolute value expression equal to 2 or 4, you're going to set it equal to that 2 or 4, and you're also going to set it equal to the negative 2 or the negative 4, depending on what it was equal to original. So whatever this is, set it equal to the positive and the negative. By definition, absolute values can never be equal to a negative number. Okay, if you remember the expression in here, if it's negative becomes positive, and also if it's positive stays positive, but it can never equal a negative number. So if you see one of these, the teacher's trying to trick you, write down no solution or the circle with the line through it, which also means no solution. What happens if I'm dealing with one of these? These are called Boolean symbols, if you ever hear that term. It's a less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. So when you see one of these, you're going to set it the negative and the positive of what's inside the parentheses, and then solve the inequality. So what do I mean by that? For example, if an expression's less than a number, what you're going to do is you're going to set it less than the number, whatever you have in the expression, and then you're going to take the negative of the expression and set it less than a number. Now, some of you might have learned it to where you have the negative on this side, but this has changed direction. That's okay if that's the way you learned it. I'm just showing people the step before. Actually, that happens where, by definition, absolute values have pieces. It's the positive and the negative. All right, go back to the graphing video of absolute value if you want a further explanation on that. So now that you've done that, what you do is you solve the inequality. Some people will choose to divide by a negative number right off, or other people will choose to distribute through the expression and then solve it that way. Either way, when you're solving the equations, you have to keep in mind that the direction of this inequality sign is going to change under two scenarios. One scenario is if you multiply or divide by a negative number, then this will go from less than to greater than, or vice versa. If you had a greater than, it would go to a less than, or less than or equal to. And if you take the reciprocal of both sides, same thing will happen. So if I do 1 over expression and 1 over number, this better switch to a greater than. All right? They might try to get you with a couple tricks. Keep an eye out for these scenarios. If you have an absolute value that's greater than a negative number, by definition, absolute values are always greater than a negative number, because you're going to get a positive answer when you do the absolute value, and positive numbers are always greater than negative numbers. So the answer to this scenario would be negative infinity to infinity, or all real numbers. Whereas if we have a less than a negative number, well, when is a positive number less than a negative number? Never. So you would write no solution or the circle with a line through it. All right? So this is just the concept. I hope you took some good notes. Now onto the beginner, intermediate, and advanced videos. As always, pause them, try the solution, and then check your work with the video. The key to any of this stuff is to practice, 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 as always. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.